to my healthy food place. So you are welcome to my healthy food place, where we share ideas and recipes on how you can stay healthy naturally. And today, we are continuing with yesterday's topic. Yes, the topic that says natural healthy habits to reduce frequency of illnesses. And remember, we talked already about water therapy, talked about avoiding late meals, having a good breakfast, not going to bed immediately after your dinner. These are good habits. Having a good dinner. These are good habits. And so today we want to focus a little more on something a little bit away from food. Because habit is not only about food. Habit is not only about what we eat. There are other habits that we exhibit in the public places. There are other habits also that is directed to our very self. It's not something about having your meal or eating or such things like that. And these are the points, areas I want to be focusing a little bit today on. Now, the first point I want to focus is you need to reduce stress. Yes, not stress, not taking anything, stressing, not allowing stress on ourselves is a good habit. Now, some people, even what ought not to be a stress becomes a stress to them. Yes, a very bad habit. It can even affect your health. Minor things, they turn into stress. And one of the ways that we invite stress to our life, I'll talk a little about other forms of stress. It's a very bad habit, but we need to take the good side of it. Remember that it's the good habits, healthy habits. It doesn't matter what event, your life matters most. Stress can kill. Stress is bad. And there are different types of this stress. And so that is why it's important to talk about it. We must be deliberate to reduce stress. It's something we can do. Physical stress. Yes, trying to meet up with every engagement. Trying to be everywhere. Every assignment, whether it's church assignment, whether it's office assignment, you must meet up. Even when it's not convenient for you, even when you are feeling that you cannot take it any longer, you continue to do it because it's a habit you have formed. And one of the driving force behind this habit is trying to please everybody. It's not possible. You can never please everybody. And so the habit of running around all the time, trying to, do everything, whether it's church, and don't let anyone deceive you. Maybe you say it's God's work, and because it's God's work, if you come back from vigil, in the morning you go for a meeting, in the afternoon you go for choir practice, you keep running around doing, even if you're a pastor or a reverend or a bishop, if you have that habit, you must be everywhere. If you are not there, it won't take place. It won't go well unless you're there. That's a bad habit. And if you want to stop that habit, you have to learn how to delegate. Some of us don't know how to delegate. It's a bad habit. Some of us, we cannot even delegate. Even when we delegate, we still don't have confidence. It doesn't matter how good the person we delegated the assignment to is. We find it difficult to confide in the ability of the other person. It's a bad habit and makes you to work. You want to be there. You believe if you don't do it, nobody can do it well. That's a bad habit. And if you're in that habit, you need to stop it. It doesn't matter the position you are holding, whether you are the general overseer of your church or wherever. When you're tired, you're tired. You're a human being. You deserve some rest. Still talking about physical stress. Women are also involved, all of us, including myself. There are times that some calls may come in. If you can't take it, don't take it. You can't serve everybody, you can't please everybody. And so that is about it. So reducing stress is a good habit. Anything that brings extra stress on you, avoid it, stay away from it. Deliberately stay away from it, because stress, I tell you, can kill. She's talking about physical stress. No. She's talking about physical stress. And so that running up and down all the time, you must be everywhere. Wherever they invite you, you must meet up. That's a bad habit. So you have to imbibe the good habit of knowing when it's okay, knowing when it's turning out to be a stress. What ought not to be a stress, when you put it on your head too much, you make it a stress, it becomes a stress. And so that is not a good habit. So we should be able to manage it, even when you are not there. Let somebody believe that somebody else can do it. Then, besides the physical stress of moving up and down, we should also have the good habit of having the mental aspect of it. Yes, some of us will find it difficult to avoid the mental stress. Mental stress is also very bad. You sit down in one place, but you may be working more than someone that's moving about. Some of us are guilty of it. When you lie down to sleep, your brain is still at work. Mental stress. You bring the work of yesterday, you are thinking of the one of tomorrow, you are thinking of the one that you did today, how it went, how tomorrow on will go, how yesterday's own went. All of them inside this small mind, inside this small head. That is what we're saying. It affects your health, because a lot of people believe high blood pressure begins from too much of thinking. Though I am not in that school of thought, there are a lot of other things that could cause it. But obviously, keeping your brain at work all the time is also part of it. It's not the only thing. And so we should reduce it. Just try to give ourselves some. Although some of them, like the mental stress, some of them, somehow, we find it difficult to manage it. But it's a habit. It's a habit. You can find something else to, put your mind on that makes you like it's not a stress, happy. And so there is also some other things like emotional stress, psychological stress, even marital stress. Yes, all this put together, if you put everything on you, you're going to die of stress, because stress can kill. And so that is about that aspect. Don't try to please everybody. Know when it's time to stop. That is one of the ways you can reduce stress. That the next habit is being focused. It's a habit. We were not born like that. Nobody was born like that, not to be focused. You're doing something and somebody else is doing another one. Your eye is on it. You're not focusing on your own. You're focusing on other people's failures. You are focusing on other people's successes. And sometimes it gives birth to things like envy. Because you're not focusing. You do this one tomorrow, it's not working, you jump to another thing. It's not a good habit, my dear. So the habit to remain focused, you have to try it. If you are not focused, you may not be able to succeed, even on social media. You need to remain focused. You remain on a particular thing because it is practicing that will make you to become perfect. And so being focused is something you need to begin to learn and be deliberate about. Because moving here and there, trying to be at all points, is not a good habit. A rolling stone, they say, gathers no moss. A rolling stone, when you are always trying to be here and there, you're not going to come up with, at the end of the day, nothing good will come out of it because of lack of focus. And so it's a good habit. I want to encourage you that it can also affect your health. Yes, you may think that all these things don't affect you. It does, because the way you feel is going to be having a toll on your health over time because of the word habit. For instance, now, the last point that I'm making, that if you are not focused, it's going to rob you of your joy. Because sometimes you may think someone else is doing something better or something that you should be doing, and it begins to rob you of your joy. You think you're not succeeding. Maybe because your time has not come. So you think you're not succeeding, and you become sad. You become unhappy. Are you aware, my dear, that being unhappy is also a something that can cause you to be sick? Yes, not being happy. And that takes me to the next one. Find a reason. It does not matter. Some people, it doesn't matter what they have. They're not satisfied. The Bible says that godliness with contentment is great gain. They are never satisfied. A merry heart, it says further, doeth good like medicine. I said it before. So you must find a reason to always be happy. It's a good habit. I've learned from some people about happiness. And if you don't have it, you can copy it from somebody. I used to be someone that is always, serious-minded and all of that. But at times when I see people that are always happy, it's kind of attracts favor from people, even from God. I've tried it. In fact, not really trying it. I am a victim of such, or I was. Let me put it that way. I was a victim. Not that I was a victim of not being happy, but, just trying to, achieve more. I've always been a happy person, but trying to achieve more. And it can give birth to stress also. And so if you are not, contented as it is, if you are not contented with what you have, where you are, achievements you've made, the way you look, the way you are created, everything about you, the gifts you have, the talents you possess, if you're not contented with these things, it's going to continue to make you sad. And I tell you, if you're not happy, over time, your physical body will begin to manifest signs of sickness and signs of disease, you can go do your own search. Happiness has power. And since the day I realized it, honestly speaking, no matter what happens, I find another 1,001 reason to be happy. Yes, because you will see people that you think shouldn't be, but they are happy. You see people with no legs, and they are dancing and praising God, but you have 2 legs. I do learn from these things. I see people who don't have eyes, and they are busy praising God and happy. And you can see that though we often say happiness is free, yes, but you now see people who are more blessed, who appear or ought to be more blessed, but they're not happy. It's a habit, because they're not contented. Lack of contentment. And I tell you, God is not even happy with it. You need to be contented. Anytime you meet people, be happy. No matter what happened to you. It has happened to people, it has happened to someone else. Always put your mind there, that as long as you are breathing, that is one prayer I've made. As long as you have that breath of life, find a reason to be happy. Terrible things have happened to people. People that thought they would never go down, they went down. And there are people that thought they won't ever be able to go up again. They rose up. And so when you put all these things together, you should be happy, you should be contented, and be hopeful that tomorrow will be all right. Because hope does not disappoint. And so you need to find so many reasons to always keep yourself happy, whether you're married or not. If you're married, whether you're blessed with children or not. Because it doesn't matter what you have. Another problem with surface. If you have children and they are not loyal or obedient as you are, still be happy. Don't let that rob you of your joy. That is exactly the point. It's a bad habit. Some people have the habit. And so if you have that habit, realize that it will soon start affecting your health in ways that will amaze you, in ways that you yourself cannot even understand. Just merely being sad. If it's something I would have asked you to try it and see that it makes people not run away from you. It doesn't attract people, it doesn't attract favor, it doesn't attract God himself. The blessings of God doesn't come when you are unhappy, because it means you're ungrateful. And that also will take me to another habit which I want you to imbibe. Be forgiving. Yes, it's not a Christian ethic to forgive. Whether you're a Muslim, whether you are whichever religion, be forgiving. It has to do with your fellow human being. Now, it's not about God, it's not about anybody. It's about your social relationship. Because when you don't forgive, offenses are sure to come. Either from your home, your marriage, your siblings, your friends, your social associations, and so many other ways. Offenses will come. But guess what? Be forgiving. Because if you don't forgive, it's gonna make you sick. Yes, as simple as it is, it's free. But if you are the type of person that always hold grudge, you're not going to get any award for it. Some people have that habit. They want to keep malice. They want to, want to show that it won't be me that will come to apologize or to forgive you or whatever. Forgive. It's one of the things. There are certain times you forgive some things, and another person is wondering why you could forgive that thing so easily. Because that person is having that habit, negative habit, unhealthy habit, I call it, of not forgiving. Because when you don't forgive somebody, you yourself, you're not free. Now, whenever you see the person that this your supposed offender or whoever, you are not happy. And the good thing is that sometimes they are not even aware that you are having such thing in your heart. And so it's not a good habit, my dear. Imbibe the habit of forgiving. Have a free mind. Forgive people when they offend you, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's in your church, whether it's in your workplace, whether it's in your anywhere. Offenses will surely come. Even from your own the children you gave birth to, they will surely offend you. Your spouse will offend you. So how many of these offenses are you going to keep? By the time you start keeping all the people that offended you, over time, you begin to hate everyone. Because we have a command that we should. And that command, I believe in it because it does you more good to forgive. So that habit of not forgiving is not good. Start to forgive. Anyone that has offended you, whether you know it or not, but as soon as you realize it, forgive that person. Sometimes it's difficult. Yes. Because why is it difficult? It is difficult because we have that ego that can I just forgive the person like that? But it's forgiveness is a serious something, very, very serious. Why is it serious? It affects your health. More of you that is not forgiving. And that's why you should always forgive when you're offended, wherever. It's a social habit. So that when you come in the midst of people, you feel free. You don't have grudge against almost everyone around you. It's not a good habit. It's a good habit to have that positive mind. Others and always forgive them. Doesn't matter how serious the offense. And the ugly thing, I put it, the ugly thing, is that some of the things you call offenses, those things you call, some other person they don't see it as an offense. Yes, if you see the way that woman talked to me, or the woman talked to me, you could talk to some other person, and that person doesn't even recognize you talking to him or her like that. And so that is the thing about forgiveness. That thing you're calling offense, some other person won't see it as an offense. So if you are one that is always, feeling that's nothing, you're not going to let it go. My dear, by the reason of today, let it go. There are more serious things to engage your mind. There are more serious things, business for your mind, than harboring unforgiveness. It affects, it's one of the secrets that I need to let you know about your health. It's going to be affecting your health without your knowledge. Little by little, your health may be deteriorating because of unforgiveness. I don't want to make it like I'm trying to be very sanctimonious or very religious about it, but I'm telling you that socially, that's a good habit, so that you'll be able to have free interaction and free mind towards everyone. That is about that. And so when you are having any matter with anybody, whether the person is older than you, whether you are younger, let it go. It's one of the secrets. Then another habit that you must learn is learning to talk, when to speak, and when to be silent. It's a popular motivational talk, but this one is not about motivational. It's about your health. Now, I'll tell you something about talking, especially, I'm talking about our social habit, because most of the points I want to talk about today have to do with social habit. It's not about eating, when to eat and when not to eat, social habit. And so, learn when to speak and when not to speak. It's a good habit, very important. And I'll tell you the two extremes. If you speak too much, it's not good. Some people, when they are in the public, they just want to talk. Whether it's making sense or not, they want to speak. It's a bad habit. I've seen people with that habit. It's not good. And if you don't give them opportunity to talk, they get angry. It's a bad habit. So if you are in it, stop it. So another group, another extreme of the talking thing, our social habit, is being too silent, never talking at all, even when you ought to speak. You know, I was caught up in this last one so many years ago. I just don't want to talk. But over the years, I realized something. When you are silent, there are times to speak, and there are times to be silent. It is bad for you to just also be always silent when you are in the midst of people. You don't ever say anything. You have to be in the middle. That is a good habit. If you are in the habit of always talking, you must be the one talking. Immediately they say talk, you take over the stage and you don't even look at the time. It's taking us to the next habit, not being conscious of time. It's a bad habit. This one is the next, taking us to the next one. So don't just be in the public place and you are the only one talking. It's a bad habit. Some people have it. Learn to be sensitive. If you are the one taking over the stage, you need to sit down and give someone else a chance. If you have a meeting that is slated for 1 hour and they gave you opportunity to speak and you took almost 45-50 minutes, it's a bad habit. Some people are in it. I have seen some people like that. And the ugly thing is, majority of them are not aware that it's a bad habit. But I'm telling you, using this avenue to tell you that it's not a good habit. It's a good habit to be mindful of people around and the amount of time you're using to talk and when to speak and when to be silent. So the two extremes are not good. You don't have to just be silent as if you know nothing. You don't know. It's better to be more silent, though, than to be a talkative, to be known as a talkative. Because when you are silent, we know that you will even be deemed to be wise, even when what you wanted to say is not wise enough. But because you didn't say it, because you kept silent, you'll be seen as someone that's very intelligent. And that's why it's better to be silent more of the time, but not to be too silent. And there is something about speaking again that I learned lately, and I want to use the opportunity also to highlight it about speaking. You know that speaking has health benefits. Talking. Talking. Now, if you are not talking at all, it can affect your health, especially the older people. Talking is an exercise. There are some studies. I've read some studies that are saying that talking makes you look younger because it's an exercising for your face. And I've been studying it. People that talk, I noticed that they don't easily look old. Their aging is not fast. People like teachers who are talking. If you are in the business that you are talking, positively talking, not talking on the other side. My dear, it helps you as you are aging, but don't talk too much. Remember, moderation is our rule, even in this channel. anything you're doing, whether it's food or whether it's resting, you remember that our rule here is moderation. When you talk too much, headache, BP will shoot up. I'm telling you. Stress, it will turn to stress. So too much of it is bad. But now, not also talking. Stay at home for a whole day. You don't talk to anybody. That's why social media also is good. You can call someone if you have been at home for morning till night and you haven't spoken a word. Of course, if you're talking to yourself, that is okay, but you may be seen as someone that is having some issues mentally, maybe is sick. But you can also talk in a prayer mood, you can talk. But it's not very common for people to just be talking while alone. The people tend to talk when talking to somebody, especially a human being, or could even be a pet. But preferring human being talking to. Some people, all they need is to have you talk with them. Nothing. Some people are even ready to pay for it. And so you need to watch that social habit of taking over the stage, talking too much, or not even talking at all. Sometimes it may present like low self-esteem when you don't talk at all. It looks like you are not, qualified, or you're not in the class of people who are there. That's what happens when you are just silent, as if everyone is better than you. So we should maintain a balance, not overdo it. Now, the next habit is time management. And I tell you, I read a book some years back. Can't remember the author of that book, but I tell you, it's talking about the difference between the rich and the poor. That's what it's talking about. The secrets of the rich is how they use their time. When you don't have time consciousness, that is very bad. Some people are, habitually time killers. You are welcome, my sister, my Reverend Amadiog. Yes. So, if you don't manage time, it's not a good habit. Now, you'll be asking me, say, how does that affect your health? Yes, it all turns out one way or the other to affect your health when you do not manage your time. If you don't manage your time, you could use your time to do some other things and that are not, does not benefit you in any way. So it took me some years. It was lately that I realized this thing I'm telling you about time. It's a habit. I didn't used to know how important time is until this lately, maybe in my 50s or so. I could just sit down, talk, chat and laugh. It's time you're wasting, you're spending. Even the Western world, who we see as richer and better economically, I've also studied their lifestyle. They don't joke with time. When you're at work, you're at work. You don't use that time to be joking and chatting and gossiping like some of us do here. You don't use that time to do any other thing. And that is one of the secrets I've seen that is making them more successful, a good number of them. Start being mindful of your time. It's a good habit. When you wake up in the time. Now, some people could draw out a list of things they want to do. Well, it's good. But some of us are not so good at such. But just ensure that you can give account of the time. What you use 24 hours to do. Don't just wake up and be browsing scrolling your phone and be, it's good. It's not as if you won't scroll or do whatever, but don't overdo it. Yes, because whatever you are spending your time on, over time is going to affect you. It's either going to make you or it's going to mar you. That is how time works. And ultimately or cumulatively, it's going to affect your health. Either it makes you or it mars you, destroys you. That thing that you're giving your time, that's how serious time is. So it's a good habit to be mindful of time. The very moment you woke up, you know that 24 hours has been given to you, and there is no cheating. We all have the same 24 hours. But the point is, some people are not, they have the negative or unhealthy habit of not minding what they do with their time. They don't mind what the 24 hours, what they have done. Be mindful of time. Be time conscious. It's a very good habit. It's going to help you to be richer too. Because if you use your time wisely, it's going to make you to be richer. If you use your time on positive things, it's going to impact your life positively. If you use your time on negative things, it's going to impact your life negatively. That is how important time is. So if you have the habit of just allowing the clock to tick, 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 every day, 24 hours could tick, you cannot lay hands on something and say, this is what I did today. This is what I achieved today. That's a bad habit. And you need to stop it. Don't say it's not affecting me, my health. Take up advantage. Take advantage of time. Because it doesn't wait for anybody. Yes, it doesn't wait. It cannot wait for you. Now, some people are in the habit of saying they don't have anything to offer. Yes, this is interesting, and I'm happy it came. I just thought of it now. Now, some people say, just reason that they don't have money, they don't have this, they believe you are to give to them. They don't have anything. My dear, if you are in the habit or you know someone who is always reasoning like that, you have something, which I also have, and that is time. You can give me your time. And now if you don't know the value of time, you won't value my coming here, and I won't value your coming here, there. You're being there to listen to what I'm saying, because it is time that is ticking. It's time that you're using, and that's why they say time is money. Yes, you can give somebody your time. Don't say you don't have anything to give. Some people are in that habit. You have made money or you have achieved something, they want you to give to them. But guess what? In their mind, because they have it, they believe they don't have it. They don't have money. Is it only money? But they have time. They can give you their time for something. We all need support. You can use your time to support someone. Somebody watching this, be here to watch. You're using your time, and I appreciate you for it. Because I know the value of time. I don't have that habit to just while away time. It's a bad habit. It can lead to poverty. Yes, that is as serious as it is. And guess what? Don't tell me that poverty won't affect your health. Remember, we are talking about health. It's all about healthy body, reducing frequency of visit to hospitals. And you do that only when you are sick. And so you don't need to tell me that if you don't have money, that it doesn't affect you in any way. It does. Whether you accept it or not, whether you agree with me or not, it does, my dear. You need money to buy data. You need money to buy a good phone. You need money for everything. And so you need to be conscious of time, because time is everything. Now, let me give you I think the last thing about time. Now, if you are using your time to browse and watch other people's videos, and maybe the type of video you are watching, they are just something like games, or you're using your data, you're using your time. Then the next person is using the same data and money and the same data and phone to learn something online. You can see the difference between the two. The other one is using the money just scrolling, watching comedies, movies, which is other people's business, is supporting their business. But you are using your own data to learn something online. Over time, it's going to put money in your pocket. That is it. It's going to put some money in your pocket when you learn the skill, whether it's knowledge you acquire or whatever. Most things now you can learn it online. So you need to stop, that unhealthy habit of not being mindful of what you do with your time. Time is everything. Be time conscious. If someone is discussing with you, for instance, and you know the person have already hit the point and is just talking and talking, you may, after you know that the point is already made, you may excuse yourself. Whether it's in the marketplace, whether it's on the roadside, some people know how to kill time. They can just keep you engaged discussing about somebody else, and you can take a long time. My dear, that's not a good habit. Use your time to do the right thing, and it's going to prevent you from being sick. And those of you who are also in the habit of not exercising, this one too has to do with you. If you're on a habit, it's a habit too. You don't go out. You're always sitting on your computer. From computer to dining table. From dining table to bed. You must find time to go out for a walk. Engage in physical exercise. That's a good habit. Now, if you have been sitting down in one place, or the type of job you're doing does not involve moving around, you have to deliberately incorporate it into your lifestyle, because it's a healthy habit. It's going to affect your health if you are not exercising, if you are not moving. Thank you, my dear. It's going to affect your blood pressure if you are not moving. It's going to affect your blood sugar if you are not moving. It's going to affect your health in more ways than you are thinking. Ordinary exercise. And guess what? The good thing is it's even free. Except you want to spend money going for gym and other places, which is optional. If you can pay for that, that's okay. But not going to the gym doesn't stop you from exercising. So you can always walk, engage in any form of exercise. The simplest being walking. You can engage in movement around your home. It's going to support your weight loss effort. If you don't move, you soon become overweight. If you don't move, thank you. If you don't move, your blood sugar begins to rise. If you don't move, your blood pressure too begins to rise. If you are not moving, when overweight sets in, arthritis will begin to show up. If you don't move, your heart also will be affected. Your digestive health is affected. Everything about you is affected. And so not moving is a bad habit. You need to be deliberate about it. It's not about eat what you eat or what you're not eating, but it's about just moving your body so that it will reduce frequency of illnesses. As simple or as popular as it may seem, talking of exercising, some people don't care. That's why I say it's a habit. For our fellow brothers and sisters, positivity, love, and light. God bless your lives. Thank you so much for that comment. Just reading someone's comment. Dear Faraj, yes, thank you for that comment. So we should be grateful to God. It's in part of the destiny, because you should have a grateful heart. That's the prayer that person just prayed. You should be grateful. Have a grateful heart. Connect with your maker. Yes, it's also a good habit. I'm always proud of people when I see them, showing through their utterances that they have a good connection with God. With God. They have a good connection. It's not about activity. It's not about being everywhere, but have a good connection with your maker. And that means you need to be grateful for everything. I'll give you an instance. I am always thankful for every little thing. It may be very little things so that you can't imagine. I'm always thankful for it. That's the habit I've formed. Even when walking on the road. I don't have to go to a prayer meeting or somewhere before I communicate with God. That's how I do. That's my life. I could be walking and be talking to God. Thank you for this thing you have done for me. Thank you for this life that you made me to speak the minds of people. Thank you, Father, for this opportunity to speak to people. Thank you for counting me worthy. Yes, thank you for the education I have. Some people know it, but they don't have communication skill. So these are opportunities that you may be enjoying. Thank you for my family. Thank you for this, thank you for that. Thank you for food today. Yes, I do, my dear, I do. For every little thing, you need to be grateful. That I woke up today, say, Father, I thank you that I'm alive today. Because not everybody that slept woke up. Some people don't have that habit. It's a bad habit. They may be saying it, but in their heart, they don't mean it. You have to be grateful, my dear. It's not your right. Many people slept yesterday, but this morning they are no more. Some of them are richer than you and I. They are better placed than you and I. But the money and everything could not save them when death came knocking on the door. That's the point I'm making. And so always connect with your maker. It's a very healthy habit. Because there are things that will push you, very distressing situations that you don't know where to run to. Such thing can cause you high blood pressure. But if you run to your maker, your creator, if you run to God, you pray and He will give you rest of mind. He will give you assurance. He will give you the assurance that all will be well. Because you didn't bring yourself here. Yes, you are in UK, you are in America, you are in Nigeria, you are different countries. God knows your whereabouts. He hasn't lost the count. And so you must have all these things in your mind. And then always have that gratitude. I've heard people say, God have not given me this thing. God is owing me. And I like, owing you? How? He hasn't given me a child. I've heard people say it. So that's what God is owing you. But are you aware that some people do not only not have that one, but their health has failed them. Their health is failing. You don't appreciate the fact that you're in good health. You don't, thank Jehovah. You don't thank Almighty God that you are in good health. You are now looking at you don't have a child. Now, if the sickness with agony comes, you won't remember the child issue again. That's why you should always be happy. When the time comes, God will resolve it. And besides, we're not going to live here forever. That is the point. Healthy habits to reduce frequency of illnesses. Yes, all these habits, they are linked somehow to your health without your knowing it. They affect your health. Whether you have a social habit that is unhealthy, whether it's how you have a personal habit like stressing yourself that is unhealthy, or whether you have a feeding or an eating habit, sleeping habit. We talked about all of these things yesterday. They are affecting your health. When you imbibe the positive habit, it will reduce frequency of visit to the hospital. If you have the habit of consuming only processed food, mostly fast food, it's a bad habit. You need to stop it. Yes, this is about yourself also. We talk about the other one, but all these things are interlocking, intertwined, all this topic. Because some people are always wanting food that is fast to prepare. Yes, they don't have patience to have any food fermented. A whole 3 days, you be preparing some now. They don't have the patience to prepare food in their kitchen. It's a bad habit. Now, like, they don't have the habit to buy their vegetables and wash it. I mean, take the vegetable home and wash it very well. Slice it. Wash it with sufficient water. They want everything to be done in the market. They want everything to be pre-packaged. They don't want to touch anything. It's a bad habit, my dear. It's a bad habit. Reduce the processed foods. It's affecting your health. Everything must be ready to eat. The soups sometimes are cooked now inside cans. You have beans inside the cans. If you are in the habit of eating all those ready to eat food, reduce it. Because a good number of them come with chemical preservatives. A good number of them come with sodium. Some people are going through high blood pressure because they are consuming too much of these processed foods. And because of the high sodium in these foods, most of these food cannot be preserved without all these additives and preservatives, flavorings and colorings to attract the consumer. But if you are in the habit of always buying processed foods, packaged foods, ready to eat and ready to drink foods, my dear, it's a bad habit. It may be affecting your health already. Some of you are managing high blood pressure because of the imbalance between sodium and potassium in your body. Some are taking medications and say, oh, ma'am, the medication is no longer working. Yes, it's not working because of the bad habit. You haven't changed the habit of consuming too much processed foods. Because maybe there is an imbalance between sodium and potassium in your body. And you have the habit of consuming only processed foods. It doesn't matter the excuse you have. Some people have the excuse that nobody to do it for me. Do it yourself. There is one habit I have. One good habit, I call it. It's not a good, it's a difficult one for many people, but it's a habit. I developed that habit when I started this wellness journey. And guess what? You know the habit? Cooking my meals myself. That's a habit. No cook for me. Something that will make me depend on someone to cook for me, I don't pray for it to happen. Why do I do it? It's a habit. I formed it. I wasn't born with it. Because of what? Because I want to know what I am putting inside the food. I want to know what goes inside that food. Because a lot of people are sick, but someone is cooking your food for you. It's a bad habit. Yes, it's good to do big madam, but for me, when I do all the social media, all the talk, I go and prepare my food. You may do other things for me, but is it to cook what I will eat? I do it myself. And it's a habit. Yes. And there is another habit. I will tell you that habit tomorrow. Not today. For those of you, because I'll be rounding up on this tomorrow. And if you have questions, you can also be able to drop it so that we can also attend to it. And so that habit, you can steal it, you can borrow it. Some people say it's too stressful. Yes, it's stressful, but it's a healthy way. How can you be cooking your food yourself? Yes, at least 95% of the times, let me put it that way, because it can never be 100%. There could be some days that you are not so disposed to do it. But that habit, you can steal it. It may initially look like it's stressful, but by the time you're enjoying a healthy body because of it, you will love it. Prepare your meals yourself. You don't have to fry anything. And then you could ask someone to prepare the food. They could be adding things that you don't need. I don't put bouillon cubes. I don't put artificial taste enhancers. But if you ask someone to do all of that, they don't even believe in all of these things. And some may even add some of these things to the meal. And by the time you ask questions, they say no, they didn't add it. Just to make you happy. But guess what? I will still find out if I taste it. Because I have already formed that habit of cooking my meals myself. It's a good habit. Not all the time someone will be doing this thing for you. They could do other things, some other things, but if it's what is going to go into your mouth, my mouth, I try as much as possible to prepare it myself. Yes, because my health matters most. Your health matters most. It's what matters. Something, habit that will prevent frequency of visits to the hospital. This is one of my secret habits. This one I just told you. There is another habit that is helping me to reduce frequency of visit to the hospital. I will release that one tomorrow. For those of you who will be coming around, for habit, take up the good habit, the healthy habits. They will help to reduce the frequency of visits. And remember, we talked about reducing stress. We talked about not talking too much, knowing when to talk today. Social forgiving. We talk about not trying to be everywhere, to please everybody. It's a social habit. Don't be caught up in it. It's not a good habit. So you need to, ensure that you are contented. It's part of the highlight today. You need to be contented to where you are. It's a good habit. The height you have. But if you are overweight, you don't have to be contented with it too. You know why? Because you form the habit. You are not born overweight. Yes. So, as long as you're not born that way, it means you develop a habit that brought about being overweight. And maybe the habit of overeating, or the habit of eating between meals, or the habit of eating too much carbs, the habit of eating too much processed foods, and the habit of not exercising can lead you to have extra body weight. You don't need to be contented with it, my dear. If it's something that is negative, because it can affect your health if you're overweight. I was too. I don't have to repeat it, but I was grossly overweight before now. When I say grossly overweight, weighing 120, 150 kg. It's not a small weight. And by the time I was trying to take back my health, I stopped all those bad habits, all those unhealthy habits that were affecting my health, making me running from one hospital to the other. I stopped all of it. And by the time those habits were stopped, a healthy body weight emerged. And when a healthy body weight emerged, most of these diseases disappeared. And that's exactly what will happen to you. That's exactly what will happen in your own case. When you start to imbibe these healthy habits, most diseases will be gone. Yeah, good morning, Kamarakin. By the time you imbibe some of these healthy habits, most of these diseases will be gone. That's what happened to me. I was weighing 120. It was big. But guess what? All sicknesses we are living, stomach ulcer, all, just name it, insomnia, poor blood circulation. Today is malaria, tomorrow is typhoid. But by the time the good, healthy habit, I began to learn it. Remember I told you, you weren't born with any of these things. So you develop these habits yourself. And over time, they began to affect your health. And so when I realized how they were causing my health to fail, I changed most of the habits, and the excess body weight disappeared. I came back to normal, and even almost very lean. I put it that way. And what followed it is even shocking. Ulcers were gone. Fatty liver was gone. Most of the sicknesses were gone. Today is malaria, tomorrow is typhoid, they were all gone. And that's why I could tell you that for 14 years and more running, I have not tasted those antibiotics again. Yes, 15 years going, very soon to be 15 years. When I learned the truth about wellness, the secrets of a healthy body, when I discovered that truth, that secret, and began to learn those habits, it's never too late to change any habit. Don't say you're too old to stop the habit, the unhealthy habit. Don't say you are too young to start the good and healthy habit. It doesn't matter. Whenever you get this knowledge, go ahead. It's not, you're not too old, neither are you too young to start the good habit because of your health. The unhealthy habits were actually affecting my health then in a lot of ways. I was so big. What brought the big size, the extra size, was habits. Eating processed foods. I love processed foods a lot. I love all these foods from supermarkets, go for shopping, buy your butters, your margarines, spread them on the bread, put milk and whatever together inside the tea, and just enjoy. That was part of my habit then. But by the time I stopped all this habit, eating habit, the real weight came. Most diseases were gone. That's exactly what I'm encouraging you to do. Yes, I'm encouraging you to imbibe healthy habit to reduce frequency of illnesses that leads you to going to hospital. That is what I did, and it has been working for me. And guess what? I am still learning to improve on some habits. Some of the habits are social habits. Some are personal habits. Some are eating habits. Some are sleeping habits. The habit of a thing spreads across all aspects of our life. There's no one specific side of it. Talking of the habit, the healthy habit. And so you don't have to just remain where you are and say you are too old to learn healthy habits. You are too old to learn, you're not too old to learn healthy habits that will positively impact on your health. You're not too old, my dear, because that's what is working for me. Healthy habits. And still learning, still working to improve on other habits. That is exactly the point. And so, my dear, the time to start the healthy habit is now. Don't say tomorrow. It is now that you have to start those healthy habits. How you cook your meals. Remember, I cook my meals myself. I could delegate other things. I could ask people to help me do other things. But you see, cooking what I'll eat, I do it. You can also do it. It's one of the secrets of wellness. It's one of the secrets. So that you will monitor what goes inside it, inside the food. And finally, I want to leave you with this one. Don't be too attracted to sweet foods, the taste. Some people, if it's not sweet, they won't eat it. Sweetness, sugar, it's a habit. So if you have that habit, you need to stop it. And people, when you talk about garlic, say, no, garlic, you smell it in my mouth. No, it's a bad habit. First of all, consider how does it affect your health before you start saying it's going to do this, going to smell this way. Oh, you bring something that is healthy. Oh, they say, it's not sweet. What can I use to sweeten it? Now, if you develop your taste bud to love sweetness too much, that's exactly a habit. So whenever something is not sweet, your taste bud won't like it. Develop the habit occasionally to go for something bitter, something sour. Doesn't have to be bitter all the time, but occasionally let it be bitter. It's a good habit. Occasionally let it be sour. Not all the time is sweet, sweet, sweet. When we take too much sweetness, we are feeding the yeast, we are feeding the worms, we are feeding the bacteria. By the time they are overfed, they will outgrow the healthy gut bacteria and then start causing havoc. They start causing problem. And then we say we are what? We are sick. That is the point. Say you are sick because you are taking too much sugar. You love sweetness, sweet foods. You have passion for something sweet. And that's not a good way. It's not a healthy way. It's an unhealthy habit. Don't only go for things that are sweet in your mouth. Sometimes go for things that are sour. It's going to help you. It's going to improve your health. It's going to reduce the frequency of going to hospitals. Sometimes take fermented foods. Yes, they are sour, like yogurt, a good one. Occasionally go for some fermented foods, fermented condiments. It's going to improve your health. The fermented foods are not usually sweet. Once you ferment it, that sour taste comes in. And so if you are someone that you don't like anything sour, my dear, it's a bad habit. And you need to stop it. You need to come out of that bad habit and start going for foods that sometimes are not even sweet, but sour. Because it will reduce the frequency of your visit to the hospital. And so, that is exactly where I want to draw the curtain for today. And I thank all of you for coming. See you finally tomorrow on the same subject, healthy habits to reduce frequency of illnesses. And remember, I promised you one habit. One of my habits are reserved for tomorrow. For those that will be here tomorrow, that habit, I will tell you that habit. You may also like to steal it. Yes. Anyone I give you here, you can steal it. Start doing it. If you want to start enjoying, or if you want to continue, if you're already enjoying a healthy body, you can steal the idea. Don't forget, if you are here today, in case I miss it out tomorrow, due to either distraction or whatever, remind me, Mama, there is a habit that you say you will share with us. You can drop it tomorrow in case I didn't say it. I may decide to withhold it to know if you will remind me, if you remember, and that will make me know that you were here today and tomorrow. That is where we'll join the curtain for today. Thank you all once again. And remember to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. I remain your host, Grace Eneman. Thank you. See you again.